basically doesn't have very good micromanagement. We'll see, and I'm not sure if those are cracklings. In fact, 2 lurkers going back first, and really he didn't want those lurkers down first. He wanted the Zerglings down first, absorbing the hits. Both lurkers go down. Let's see if he's able to take it out. Free is escaping, and now he's pushing an attack on Savior's main. Sidestorm going off everywhere. Wow, a lot of lurkers down. And it looks like Free is going to be able to push this attack on the natural expansion of Savior. If Savior doesn't do something quick, he's actually going to be able to push this attack all the way into his main. It looks like, and wow, just pushing up a ton of Zealots, a ton of Dragoons, a lot of Templar to supplement. And even though Free has lost that natural secondary, he is really pushing hard on Savior's main. Those 2 hatcheries are basically gone at this point. Let's see if Savior can fight this off with anything. Just a huge force there. Archon's up now, and wow, if Free manages to get up the ramp, which it looks like he just broke. He did just break the ramp. Savior is not going to be able to fight this off, in my opinion. Sidestorm going off, a little bit of a miscue, sidestorming his own Corsairs there, but you see desperately trying to get some Sunken Colonies up, and Free, in the meantime, didn't lose that Nexus there, so he's going to go back up and start mining out of it again, getting a bit of an economic advantage there, and camped out front of his base. Sidestorm going off, taking care of a lot of those lurkers, and it looks like he's going to, we'll see if he's able to pull this attack back. I don't think he's going to continue with that pursuit, simply because he lost a lot of those Templar, and now those Sunken Colonies are down, but Free has taken the advantage in this map. He did manage to take out basically 2 hatcheries and that expansion that I don't think the main's producing anymore for either player. It looks like they're just running out of res, and the Arbiter Tribunal, all of a sudden I can't talk, is going up for Free. So that's an interesting move against Zerg. I have not very often seen an Arbiter Tribunal against Zerg. It does happen every once in a while, what you'll see, and it might be the Corsair Arbiter push, and basically what you do, it's very difficult to pull off. It requires a decent degree of micro. Let's see if Free is up to the challenge. And another drop coming in for Savior. Savior, let's see what he's got in here. Looks like he managed to get a couple Zerglings off, but Psystorm Dragoons waiting for it, so not very successful. And more cannons going up. I think he just, I don't know if he was trying to relieve some Psy there or what. Getting back to Free strategy, he might be going for, oh wow, you can see that little Sunken Zergling doing a little bit of trouble. That cannon going up in position though, so it will be taken out, but Free having to build that Nexus out of position. And Savior in the meantime trying to take his natural expansion again, morphing some lurkers there. But if Free basically gets a lot of Corsairs and that Arbiter up, what he can do is he can use that kind of cloaked perimeter to protect the Corsairs, and then just push the Corsairs forward into the Overlords, kill anything along the way, and then basically have like a Dragoon or maybe a Zealot force underneath to protect. Savior's force is getting caught a little out of position here. Free managing to kill a decent-sized group of Zerglings. Savior trying to pull them back, and let's see, it looks like Free is gathering up a large force. He's going to start going to the north now, and Savior still licking his wounds from that attack at his natural. And wow, that's a huge army. A lot of Dragoons, looks like an Archon or two, and let's see if Free is basically going to camp out in the meantime at that front. Savior sending out some Zerglings there, but really a pithy force compared to that gigantic force of Free. Free just producing a ton of units. Those lurkers down. Let's see if there's an observer that can take care of those lurks. Actually, no, it looks like Free is halted. Let's see if he decides to commit with a couple Psystorms here. A good spread on those lurkers for Savior, as you can see, and it looks like in the meantime Free is going to take that 6 o'clock position. Let's see if Savior loops those Lings at the north all the way around and goes for it. But as you can see, Free has a lot of forces in the meantime. He's done a very good job of kind of dividing this map kind of across the middle. He basically, even though Savior has those 2 northern expansions, he really can't move anywhere to the south, and it looks like Free is now expanding to those the southern locations. He's also going to take that expansion to the bottom right. Stasis would also be very evil against Zerg at this point, so that's another option, or a recall drop. But honestly, recall takes a long time to build up the energy, and a large Overlord fleet can't talk all of a sudden. I'm sorry, it's been a really long week. As you can see, a single Arbiter up, a ton of cannons going down. He really does not want to get dropped on. In the meantime, it looks like a lot of Overlords with, I'm going to assume that's a decent-sized drop, most likely with a couple of Lings, maybe a couple lurkers in it. And Savior at this point just producing a ton of Zerglings, probably because he saw all those Dragoons out. And we'll see basically how that... I'm kind of curious. I'm going to see what Free decides to do with those Arbiters, basically if he's going to kind of do that maybe a Dragoon or Corsair push, or if he's just going to use them for stasis, or if he's just going to use them for recall. But generally, again, I can't remember the last time I saw a Protoss player go Arbiter versus Zerg, and it tends not to be very successful again because the plethora of Overlords that Zerg has, a lot of protectors. Now, big push from Free going up on Savior's main, on Savior's expansion again. He managed to get, again, some Side Storms off on the Lurkers, and just pushing up with this huge force. And it looks like Savior, in the meantime, going to go for that expansion with a lot of Overlords, and just going to do a big Overlord bomb with some Zerglings there. But Sidestorm looks like it's going to effectively be able to push. I think Savior realized that they're Overlords, and there's that Arbiter. Savior now realizes that Arbiter's out, and that Arbiter just going to go up and do a little bit of picks against those Zerglings because they can attack from the air. But wow, a lot of Overlords being taken out. Savior losing a ton of Overlords there. That might put a big cost on his side. Usually if you do a drop, you want to get in, get out. You don't want to lose basically 12 Overlords. And it looks like that secondary is down. Free did manage to take that expansion out and pull back those forces. Savior, in the meantime, realizing he's in a bit of trouble, he's going to try to push back to the south. And after taking out Savior before this had a lot of Overlords to spare. He had those 12 Overlords that he used in the drop, but now he does not. He lost all those Overlords. As you can see, producing a lot now. He has a Defiler mound down, and that is a very good counter against an Arbiter. Basically, you get Plague, and you just plague everything that's underneath. It reveals the cloak, and like I said, Zerg has a lot of options against the Arbiter, and so I'm kind of curious how Free's going to use it still. And a lot of Dragoons out. And wow, Savior deciding to call GG, just feeling he's kind of been out macro, didn't want to, I guess, pursue this, going for a fourth game. He was kind of getting out. He was losing the macro battle, to a degree losing the tech battle. He didn't have a lot of forces on the ground, and it was kind of Free's match to win, pushing up on the end. I'm surprised DGG'd that fast, though. I think he was still on it. He still could have put up a fight. Either way, the next match is coming up. Look for it, guys.